Hello YouTube, 2014 is coming to an end, and in true Christmas and New Year spirit, like every other YouTuber and gaming outlet does, let's make a list of the top games of 2014. Remember, this is my personal opinions, but I feel like these games are there for a reason. So let's get started with number 5. Number 5! So taking the 5th spot in my list is Mario Kart 8. I think this game is great, and especially if you can play with friends, and it proves that actually Nintendo can do online things and DLCs if they want to. If you ask me, there's no doubt about it, this is the most complete Mario Kart out there. That is what I think Nintendo is doing different now. Actually, the games they are putting out, which are number 7, 8, 9, whatever, in the series is actually better than the previous ones. They kind of took a letdown with the Wii version of Mario Kart and of Super Smash, but they really came back strong with the Wii U version, which earns it a top 5 spot in this year's best games. But now, let's move on to the next one. Number 4! For me, this was a no-brainer. Bayonetta 2 had to be in the top 5 list somewhere, but I didn't know where because of the good games that came out this year, but it earned a top 4 spot. So, the reason for Bayonetta gaining a top 4 spot is simple. The gameplay is fantastic, it is fluid and smooth, and everything you want in a hack and slash beat 'em up game. And on top of that, there's some of the most over-the-top action things you'll ever see in a video game. And all this is put together with beautiful cutscenes, which will make you almost cry to, almost cry of laughter. That's how beautiful this game is. And I have a review on the game, so if you haven't checked it out, do it. And let's get on to the next game. Number 3! Super Smash for the Wii U! So this earns a top 3 spot because it's a beautiful and very addicting and fun game to play. Playing this game with friends is probably some of the most fun I've had with video games and co-op for a bunch of years. We always laugh and rage all over the place, but everyone is still having fun even though they're getting beaten all the effing time. They're still having a great time. And that is kind of the beauty of Super Smash. You can play it casually and have a lot of fun. You can play it seriously and have a lot of fun too. So all of this piled up with the biggest roster the series has ever seen, this is definitely a game you should have. So if you have a Wii U and you haven't got Smash Bros yet, you're one of the few, so get it now! But for now, let's move on to the next game. Number 2!
We stand on the precipice before the greatest battle of our age. I wonder if the heroes of old ever felt like this. I am not afraid. We go to fight for a good cause, and there is nowhere else I would rather be.
So number 2 goes to Dragon Age Inquisition. I played it on the PS4 and I had a great time with this game. So this was BioWare's first stab at a remotely open world RPG game, and I loved it. It's still 10 huge hubs, but there's a lot of things to do, and this is probably the first game in 2014 which I actually spent over 60 hours playing. And when I was done with the game, I was only eager to start over again, to make different choices throughout the story, to see what happened if I made separate choices. And the only reason for this game not getting in the top spot is because you're kind of passive throughout the fights. You don't do as much as you would like to do, and the menus are shit. But except for those things, the game is great. But let's move on to the top spot.
You must steel yourself for what is to come. We both must.
Number 1.
Perhaps you've seen it. Maybe in a dream. A murky, forgotten land.
So, grabbing Game of the Year for me is Dark Souls 2. This game came out pretty early this year, but it stayed with me the whole year. And with Dragon Age Inquisition, this is probably the only game I spent over 60 hours playing. Dark Souls 2 is really the game you want it to be. It has a really solid gameplay which relies on perfection to not die, and you learn something from each death in the game. The game is hard, and that is the point of the game. And if you want the game to be something more than just gameplay, you can indulge yourself in a huge story. You can write pages and pages on with theories about which character relates to which other character, but the game depends on you reading the item descriptions if you want to do that. So like I said, Dark Souls is the game you want it to be. It can be heavy story based, or it can just solidly rely on gameplay. And the feeling of satisfaction in Dark Souls 2 is like no other. All Souls games have this satisfaction factory thing going, but it's incredible. Once you finally get to defeat a boss or get to defeat an area, you will get that feeling which you get in no other game today. All that packed with a bunch of content, now including 3 DLCs, gives this game my Game of the Year. But if you haven't played it yet, you should wait. It's coming a remake to PS4 and Xbox One in the next year, so wait until that. But for now, that was my list of the year. So hello! I'm back. So that was my list of the year. You don't have to agree with it, but hopefully you will understand why some of the games are there. And I think that was what really 2014 brought us, except for really buggy games and really technical nightmares and everything. By the way, I can make a top 5 disappointing games of the year list if you want me to. Just put it down in the comments and I'll get to that. But like I said, that's what I think 2014 brought us. Really games with huge variety, because in my top 5 list there's a fighting game, there's a racing game, and there's 2 RPG style games, so which is Dragon Age and Dark Souls 2 of course, and there's a beat 'em up game which is Bayonetta 2. But I'm not a Nintendo fanboy, even though it may seem like that. I just think that they put out some really good games this year. But with that being said, I think that's it for me now. If I don't see you anywhere, that's on my stream or whatever, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I will be back on YouTube as normal now, I think, maybe, and I will be streaming some. And if you want to, please list your top 5 games in the comment section. I will respond, and let's have a discussion about the best games of this year. So, anyways, with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this video, YouTube, and stay awesome. Thanks for watching.